hello, and welcome back, my friends. We are now at week 28 of the 52 Sunday Dinners project, where we are taking this cookbook right here, the 52 Sunday Dinners cookbook from Women's World magazine in 1924. So 100 years ago this year, they have combined all sorts of recipes and taken seasonality and economy in mind, and they've created a full, this is 4-course menu for each Sunday. And we're going through and we're recreating all of them. Now, we started at week 31 in 2023, actually, because we didn't want to wait and go starting from week 1, either wait till January to do it or start in August when we had January's things that weren't in season. So if you're seeing that, just remember we didn't start at 1 and then go all the way through. We started at week 31. Now, you may notice, if you've been here before, that I'm wearing glasses today. So I am infinitely smarter now. This is new for me in the last few years. I used to wear glasses, but I had PRK surgery maybe about 5 years ago or so, and I haven't worn glasses or contacts since. And it's just amazing, again, to be able to see. I didn't realize that I couldn't see before. So hopefully this will help out with this week's menus. We'll see. Now, for what's on the menu today, we're starting with a Sardine Appetizer. I don't know how I feel about this one, but we're going to try it out. We'll have Spanish pot roast for our main dish. On the sides, there's 2 canned recipes, one of them being ripe cucumber pickles. We're not going to make those today, but we'll show you the recipe. We're just going to use regular canned pickles that I already have. We also have spiced currants. Then for the side also is succotash. And for our salad course, we're going with lettuce with young onions. And for our dessert, we'll have raspberry pie. And we're off the hot coffee again, and we're going with iced tea. And when we make the iced tea this time with this iced tea recipe, I'll show you guys a nice surprise that I have here on the property. Now, if this all sounds good to you and you want to know how this turns out, join me in the kitchen and let's get cooking. For our pot roast, I have I think it's 2.86 pounds. It's close enough to 3 pounds. I think we'll be okay. We're going to cut this sucker into 6 to 8 pieces, and I was thinking about just doing it lengthwise like this so they'd be long and thin, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe we should cut it in half like this and then 3 or 4 across. I think that's what we'll do. And now the pan that I had planned on using, it says to use I think an iron kettle or pan, a deep dish. I have that hammered cast iron with the lid that I've used for a lot of other things, and it's sitting in my Lazy Susan in my cabinet, but the lid isn't. So I have no idea where the lid disappeared to. That's strange, but I do weird things. Who knows where I put that thing away at? So instead, we're going to use something that is not vintage, and hopefully it'll fit everything in there. I have a little collection of La Crusette. And I'll show you that here. Hold on one second. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 pieces. Well, this is significantly larger than that one, but one will be bigger or more done than the other. Okay, but I'll show you. I think we've used these before. This is my La Crusette tomato pot. I also have I think a pumpkin one and a green pepper one. And it's cast iron, it's enameled. We have our suet in there. It's melting down a little bit. I have been very, very lucky in my lifetime because La Crusette is very expensive, I think. Maybe for some people it's not expensive, but on our budget it is very expensive. So we have been exceptionally lucky to find the majority of our pieces at auctions or in thrift stores. And then I've gotten a few pieces as gifts, and I think some of those are secondhand as well, which is my favorite way to get things. But yes, I do. You'll see I have an okay collection, I think, of these pieces, but I did not buy them firsthand. reading this recipe, it is killing me a little bit. It wants us to put in a small carrot, and I pulled 2 carrots. Actually, I pulled 3. But I'm not going to use all 3. I'm just going to use the 1 because it kills me to only use 1 carrot and 1 onion for this pot roast, because if I was making this myself, I would probably put in, like, for 3 pounds, I might put in 2 or 3 onions and like 5 or 6 carrots in this. And I realize that's overkill, I suppose, but that's just how I would do it. The more vegetables, the better. I might also put potatoes actually in mine, and I don't know what other vegetables. Celery, of course. I'm surprised with the amount of celery that they use that there is not celery in this. But yeah, this just is not enough vegetables for my taste for a pot roast. But what do I know? I know a lot. I'm wearing glasses. This salad is another super simple one. We just have our lettuce on our plates here. We're taking some green onions. They have already been peeled. I did that a while ago before I put them. I knew I wouldn't use them. I had to buy a whole pack, and I knew I wouldn't use them, so they've been sitting in water in a jar in my fridge for now. So we're just gonna take it and cut just a little bit of this green is left on, and we're gonna make a pile of them sitting here. What do you think? Maybe 3? I think 3 should be good. We'll do 3 to a bunch. And we'll sprinkle a little dressing over top. Smells good. Simple and perfect, done in a few seconds. There are lima beans and corn in our slightly salted water that we're boiling up here. Now for the lima beans, I think we talked about this before. I do not see any anywhere that are fresh, so instead of using canned this time, I did find the frozen lima beans. So we're going with frozen lima beans and fresh corn on the cob. As soon as this comes to a boil, we'll time it for 10 minutes and then take it out. For the currants, 2 things for those. First, we don't have any ripe currants. And we've talked about this a while ago, I think maybe in the winter time, when we had recipes for currants and currant jelly. We have the dried ones, so that's what we're going to use. We'll, I think, let them cook a little bit longer so that they can rehydrate a little bit. However, the other thing is I started boiling the water with the sugar, and I was going to add the spices in there, and then I reread the recipe, and nowhere does it say any water. It wants a pint of vinegar, and you're supposed to scald the vinegar and spices, then add the currants, and then put them in jars. We're not going to can them today. I might end up doing that later if we really like these, but the recipes, we've talked about that before too, with the recipes that they want us to can, we might do that a little bit later in separate videos, but the ones that call for canning, we just don't have the time, space, energy to do it right now while we're doing this project, so that might be something we do a little bit later. So we're just going to make a little bit of this. I'm going to take this sugar water that we're turning into simple syrup here, set it aside, and maybe we'll use it in our iced tea or something. Maybe I'll make a lemonade out of it later. Okay, we have that remedied now. Now this is vinegar, and I did add a little bit of water in there because we're using dehydrated currants. That way they can rehydrate without absorbing too much of the vinegar. But something I do have here that I'm curious about, if you guys have these, have seen these, have worked with them. This is not a standard canning jar mouth size. This is a narrow mouth, and I have collected as many of these lids and rings that I can find. I haven't had too much trouble finding the lids. It's the rings I'm having trouble finding, and I've only in my lifetime ever, I think, seen 2 jars. So I'm using one of them right now, and the other one I believe has a chip in it, and which is very disappointing. But are you guys familiar with these, the narrow mouth lids? And if so, do you still have them and do you still use them? I do wonder, is this supposed to be a relish or something that we eat on the side? Is it supposed to be an actual side that we eat? Just very interested to see how this is going to go with everything else. It strikes me as something you would have with duck or goose or lamb, not a pot roast. So what do you guys think? We've drained everything. We put our milk in. Now a little pepper, a little salt here. It does say this is better done on a double boiler, but we're gonna try it out just in one pot this time, see what happens. Now this recipe says to put the bottles or kettle of iced tea into cold water. And I know in several of the other videos we've talked about how some of these things and different pieces of equipment that they would have been using in the 1920s, either I don't have, or I know that I have them somewhere, but they're in storage. I don't have them out and available right now. So this actually, for this recipe, it isn't the case. I want to show you guys something that I do have now that they would have had, or some people would have had in the 1920s, maybe earlier and later, and that is actually a spring house. It's recently been rebuilt on our property. It was original to the property, I believe, and was knocked down a couple times ago. I'm guessing that suddenly there's just a louder and louder noise occurring. It's because it's a little bit later right now and these guys want to eat. They're yelling at me to be fed. Give me a minute, okay? I will feed you. Just chill. Okay, so let's go in. I'll show you guys the spring house that we have rebuilt in the property here, and check it out. We're gonna go ahead and put our bottles into the overflow here. And this is just, these two pools here are overflow pools where the water that goes from the spring and into where we would use it. There's a ton of water. We live in an area where we are lucky enough to have a ton of water. So this is just the overflow of it. And go ahead and put our bottles. Now, if you are somebody who enjoys cold plunging, this pool here is actually, I think, big enough that if you were a small person, a thin person, you would be able to fit in there. I don't imagine that my hips will fit into this pool here, but I also am not going to try it because I will do a lot of things for my health, but cold is not one that I want to do. And it is cold water. So we're gonna go ahead and put that right in there. We have our sealed bottles, and in a couple of videos, actually, maybe in a few weeks from now, Mr. Vintage Dietitian had a great idea, and he thought maybe I could film doing it. He wants to do an experiment and see if we put like a half a gallon of milk in this cold water, will it last longer in this cold water or in our refrigerator or a similar amount of time. So I think that experiment will be coming up maybe in a few weeks or something. We'll try it out. But there sits our sealed bottled iced tea, and we'll get to that in a little later. I have our pie crust here. We did another gluten-free Bob's Red Mill pie crust mix, and I'm putting in a cup of raspberries, and I can see already that is not enough. It said a deep dish pie crust, or deep pie crust, deep pie dish, I think. something along those lines, but I think this is much bigger than what they would have been using back then, and this is just a little unreasonable amount of berries in there, so we're gonna need a lot more than that. I'll be right back. Clearly the glasses have not made me any smarter because I just reread that recipe as I was measuring out more of the flour and sugar, and I see I was supposed to be layering this, not only 1 cup of sugar. So I'll put a little bit of this in and just kind of mix it together and hope I don't ruin this completely. So we have our sugar, flour, and let's just get that in there. We're just gonna mix it around and hopefully it turns out okay. I mean, it's a raspberry pie. Hopefully, I'm saying that like it can't be that bad, but now I'm having flashbacks of that first blackberry pie that we made all the way back. What was that? Month 31, 32, 33. It was one of those months. And we used their pie crust recipe. Tori was here for it. And oh my gosh, it was horrible. Do you guys remember that? Have you seen it? And if this is one of your first times, we started this project last year in August. And we started with week 31. So if you're starting at week 1 and you're getting through here, and then you get to a couple weeks from now, you get to week 30, and then you go to 31, and you're like, what the heck happened? Why did she just digress so much? Did something happen? Did those glasses ruin her brain or rot her brain out? I mean, maybe that could happen too, but not in that instance. It's because we started this and we have come full circle around and we're almost finished up here. So all that to say, I think this raspberry pie will be okay. Let's try our hand at this lattice work again. Aw, it's breaking off here. I'm getting little chunks and pieces, so we will try hold it together. It won't be pretty, but it'll be tasty. Okay, as we said, it's not gonna be pretty, but it'll taste good, hopefully. This is not the best lattice work I've ever seen, but, you know, we gotta work with what we've got. Let's pop her into the oven. Surprise! My neighbor Gina is here. Say hello, Gina.
Hi, everyone.
She is going to help us finish everything off, and then she's going to help us try all the food. And yes,
Yummy, the best part.
Very, very exciting because Gina is a fabulous cook, and she does fantastic red sauces. We were just talking about stuffed cabbage. Yes.
Yes. We should make that one day.
Stuffed cabbage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
we want to make
absolutely.
We want to teach the rest of the world how to make your stuffed cabbage?
Yes. That's a personal mission of mine, to rid the world of lousy stuffed cabbage.
All right. Well, I think we'll do it. After we're done with this, maybe in a few weeks, we'll make some stuffed cabbage together.
Sounds great.
We've been cooking this on low for about 2 hours. We're going to take it out, put it on a platter, because we're supposed to take the meat out, keep it warm. We have the lower oven on warm right now, and we're just going to heat that up. Jeannie, you're going to grab the tray for me? Yep. Thank you. Hopefully I don't burn you.
It's okay. It's happened before.
We have to add our chopped up peppers and tomatoes and cook those for 20 minutes in here. Uh-oh. There we are. We have our iced tea. These don't look like small sardines to me. But have you ever had a sardine?
No, I never have.
Nor have I. I've had anchovies.
I don't like anchovies.
I also don't like anchovies.
If it's anything like that.
I don't know. It's not staying together very well. Oh.
Lay a small sardine with a strip of canned pimento across your crackers.
Okay. Now you have regular oblong. I have some cauliflower crackers. So this is... We have an open mind and we're gonna try everything.
I'll try it.
And it might be good.
Yep. And then they want you to lightly sprinkle the sardines with salt and paprika.
Okay. So we have our pimento there. Across the top. Salt and paprika. Where is my salt shaker? Right here. Okay. Lightly.
Salt and paprika.
Okay.
And then lay at one side of the plate half of a lemon quarter and 2 stuffed olives.
Okay. Half of a lemon quarter. Let me get the paprika and the olives. Yeah, I can't say... Visually, it doesn't look appealing, but I'm not used to them either. If I was used to them,
Yeah.
Because I hear about people that eat sardines on crackers all the time. So maybe if I was used to them, this would look appetizing. But
Are you supposed to sprinkle the lemon juice on it or just bite it after you eat it? Like a tequila shot. You know what I mean?
This is a great question. This is a great question. I'm guessing if it were me, I'd want to drown it in this lemon juice and then have another one ready to bite afterward.
Let's have double lemon,
Yes.
please.
We'll set this on the side. Yeah. We're gonna take sardine shots. My apologies to anybody who loves this and is offended that we are making fun of it, but ugh.
Yeah, it's not something that I eat standardly.
Yes,
Even think about buying when I go to the store.
it's true.
Maybe because I equate sardines with anchovies, and
Yes.
that's not my preference. That's beautiful looking.
Yeah, show them the little plate. Tomatoes and peppers are cooked. What do we do now with our Spanish hot roast?
Okay, once the potatoes and the onions have cooked down, it says to thicken the gravy with 2 tablespoons of flour that's been wet with cold water.
Oh, I mixed it with butter. What an idiot. Okay. Flour with cold water.
Yes.
All right. Time to reap the benefits of our hard work. We're going to try everything.
Thank you for inviting me to dinner today.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for helping.
Yay!
All right. We're starting off. We have our iced teas here. We have cheers. We've put some powdered sugar in.
Mildly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have to try this. And I am obviously hesitant, but it's going to be delicious. I'm not sure.
Like, do you put the lemon juice on there, do you think, maybe?
I think probably. We'll put the lemon juice on. And it says to put 1 sardine on 2 crackers. So are you supposed to pick it up and eat both crackers at once? Are you supposed to cut it? Or are you supposed to make a sandwich?
Go for cutting
Okay.
and put half of it on,
Okay.
half on 1 cracker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those of you who are experienced in the sardine eating world, is this correct? Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to scoop mine over this way. Here we go.
It smells fishy. Actually, that's not bad at all.
No. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it with the lemon juice. It kind of tweaks it up to cut the brine.
Right.
But very good.
It's very reminiscent of tuna.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't tell me and I didn't have my eyes open and you fed this to me, I would think I just had tuna on crackers.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I was terrified to try this at first, like kind of horrified about it, but
I think it's how it looks.
yeah,
You
I agree. I am going to take, we did say we wanted extra lemons, so I am going to take an extra one in here.
The lemon is good on it. It really
Yes.
adds a punch to it, some citrus.
Yes.
Because it's very briny, salty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But it's yummy.
Pleasantly
No.
surprised on this one.
I'm going to have to check Smart Shopper. I bet you they have
Oh, I think they do.
this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This
You've
is
got the Succotash?
Succotash, which we love.
Yes. I've got the pot roast here. It feels tender.
What's not to love?
Mm-hmm. And do you want a piece?
Yep, sure.
All right. That feels like a good piece.
Thank
Do you want any of these veggies?
Oh, yeah. Where'd you get your tomatoes?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't remember where I got the tomatoes this time. Where I like to get them. Have you been out to Car Farm yet?
No.
It's where the shop used to be. Right next to it, there's a couple there, and you can go. They have these beautiful gardens, and you tell him what you want, and he goes and picks it right out of the garden for you.
Get out.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it called again?
Car Farms.
Car Farms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then there's pickles and spiced currants. And I think I was talking about this earlier. When do you think we're supposed to eat those spiced currants? Are we supposed to eat it with the pot roast? Is it just like a side? I don't know when we will be eating them.
That I don't know. I've never I've never really made spiced currants as an addition or how it's supposed to be eaten.
Right.
Now this is cutting very, very tender.
Good. Oh yeah, I didn't even need to use my knife. I just took it and separated it.
Yeah, it's very...
Now, oh wait, I'll ask you in a minute. I do have a habit of asking people questions as soon as they shove food in their mouth. Ooh, it smells good.
Mm-hmm.
It does smell really nice. While I'm chewing, go ahead and tell them what you asked me before you came over about the pot roast, and then you were talking about steps to ensure that it's a good...
Right, for pot roast, a chuck roast, what I always do is I will take the meat out of the wrapper and I'll pat it dry and I'll put it on my cutting board and I will salt and pepper each side of it and I will let it rest for 3 to 4 hours and come to room temperature. That way when you're cooking, you're searing, you get a really nice sear on your meat a lot more quickly and the meat cooks more evenly when it's down to room temperature. Can't put cold meat in a hot pot.
Excellent advice. This is good.
It is. It's very tender.
Mm-hmm. I like the peppers and tomatoes in there. I can't say I've ever put a tomato in my pot roast before.
Me either.
But
Me either.
it's not bad together. All right, the succotash.
I already had a bite of that.
What'd you think?
Yummy.
I love lima beans.
Me too.
So I think this is great, but I like the difference between the lima beans are so, like, I would say creamy. Somebody else might say mushy. And then the corn is nice and crunchy. It's a nice difference in the texture there. I think that's pretty neat. I wonder, though, I've never made succotash before. The only familiarity I have with it is, was it Daffy Duck that would say, like, suffer and succotash?
Exactly. When I was growing up, my mom was not a big... She did not make succotash.
Okay.
This is one thing that she did not make. So I'm very much enjoying it. You tend to gravitate towards things that your mom made.
Yes.
And recreate them and put your spin on them. But she never made this.
I just find it interesting. It's in you cook it in milk afterward. And I don't think you really thicken the milk much either. So it's just kind of sitting in a milk sauce.
Giving it...
Or a bath.
Yeah, a real silky kind of flavor.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to try these spiced currants here. And see. Oh, those are sweet. Holy moly.
Okay, so should we put them on the meat or where do you think they go?
Let's try it. I don't know where they're supposed to go because they don't. Definitely not with the appetizer.
Okay, let's. That appetizer was delicious, honey. Absolutely delicious.
They taste really good with that meat.
That would have been my guess. I was up for a sweet thing. Yeah.
That's fantastic together. It cuts right through the fat.
Delish.
Yes, in a really, really positive way. Oh, that's great. Gina just asked me what my favorite meals to make were, and I was telling her about the suet pudding, and I told her the other one that I was really fun to do because it was so hilarious was the candle salad. Now, if you've been here, you remember the candle salad. Gina doesn't know what a candle salad is, so I'm showing her a picture.
Oh my. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, that is a candle salad, and it's supposed to
What's
represent...
a stalk? A banana?
That is a banana.
Pineapple core.
Yes.
Core.
Does that remind you of anything you've seen in your lifetime?
Well, yes.
With mayonnaise. Mayonnaise at the top.
Oh, my word. Okay.
Now, can you imagine in the 1920s Your
Sitting
mom
down
or
at a
your
table.
grandma serving that to your dad?
No. No. Yeah, Joe would have had something to say about that. You know, for sure. Oh, that's funny.
Guessing he would have either been really upset or you might have had another little brother or sister.
Yeah, I'd be like, Pat, what the H is going on? Why doesn't this have a light dusting of powdered sugar on it?
Did it call to have it? Is that what the recipe said?
I just think it would look prettier.
Oh.
What do you think?
You're probably right.
Just a little, get your little sifter.
And yes. Now we try to follow the recipe completely for the most part. But that is a very good observation for if anybody wants to improve this recipe, a little light dusting of powdered sugar.
Yeah, just a little, sprinkle. Everything's better with powdered sugar.
It smells good. It smells like raspberries.
I like it.
I like it too. I think it could use more raspberries. I think the fruit to crust ratio is a little low for me.
The sweetness of it is good.
Yes.
It's very good. And it's got that tang.
Yes.
That's spot on. But like you said, you might have a little bit more in there, the pie crust.
Yes.
To fruit filling.
Yeah.
Yummy.
I mean, maybe too, if the pie crust should have been thinner. I
like thicker ones.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't mind this at all. I think raspberry is my favorite fruit.
I think mine's more blueberries.
Oh, blueberries?
Uh-huh.
Have you seen the wild blueberries growing on our property?
I saw the grapes.
There's tons of wild blueberries.
Oh, really? Wow, that's so cool.
Yes.
Okay, my opinion is I really enjoyed the meat of the
pot roast.
The pot roast. It was very tasty. It was very tender. The vegetables to me get a little mushy. They lose their crispness. The flavor's still there, but the highlight of the pot roast is the meat. And the currants with the pot roast is absolutely delightful. The surprise, the Sardine Appetizer is awesome. If you can make that, do it. It's delicious. Both of us were hesitant about it, and I kept looking at it, but it's absolutely delicious, and I will be making that again. Overall, yes, very good. Oh, the Succotash too was wonderful.
Yeah.
Very silky, absolutely. I haven't had that a lot in my life, but I totally enjoyed that as well.
Yep, I agree. There was some sleepers in there. That sardines, looking at it, I'll be honest, I thought, I do not want to do this. Can I just skip it and pretend it was never there? Are they going to know if I don't do it?
Exactly.
Can I just make Gina eat it? She gives her opinion and I don't have to do it.
That was funny. It was like,
but yeah, it was great. It was great.
Very good.
Yeah, overall, raspberry pie, great. Meal, great. I don't think there was anything in here that I did not enjoy. And like the currants, I thought, I'm not going to like that, I don't think. But
wonderful.
On that meat, ooh, it was good.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Yes. Yeah. Try it sometime.
Oh, shoot. We forgot our salad again. Oh, no. I'll try. You have to go.
Okay.
You have to go. But we'll try the salad. I'll try the salad after for them.
Okay.
But, yeah.
It was nice meeting you, and I do hope all of you get to try this. I would highly recommend it to you. It's very good meal. Very satisfying.
Excellent.
And don't forget your salad.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, Gina. Okay, Gina had to get back home for her puppies, but we're going to try the salad that we forgot about. We'll have a post-dessert salad while I talk about my opinions on the nutrition and how much this meal cost. So nutrition-wise, again, I didn't think this was too bad. The pot roast is a little heavier in fat, but not that heavy, I suppose, compared to some of the other things that we've done when we have, next week I think is fried chicken. So in that comparison, it's not that bad. We started it off with sardines, which are, I think fish always is a good choice to start with. And our vegetables We have several different types of vegetables. Again, in the pot roast, there's, I think, 4 different kinds. Our succotash, we had some of our starchier vegetables, our lima beans and our corn. There's a lot of great fiber in throughout this. And even the currants, we have a little bit of fruit, and our raspberry pie there, some fruit as well. So I might give this maybe a 7 out of 10 for nutrition, maybe even an 8. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Now let's try this salad. It smells nice. It's good. The onions are nice and mild. They're not overpowering. You may still have a little bit of onion breath after dinner is over because of it, but not as harsh as maybe you would have if this was a yellow onion or something like that. I don't know that this is a salad I would serve like this. If I wanted my onions, I might chop them up into little pieces. I use these for my salad dressings. I chop them up into tiny, fine little pieces. I mince them and add them to my salad dressings. I don't know if I would want to eat them like this. Although I'm now recalling my papa used to go and pick these. He would plant, I think sometimes they planted them, but he would find wild onions and he would dip them, kind of peel off the bottoms, dip them in salt and just snack on them like that. And that memory is coming back to me right now. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I would eat them like that. Who knows? I don't know how I feel. I feel discombobulated because I forgot the salad. That's how I feel. Cost-wise, this one was a little on the higher end of the price range there. Our raspberries are, raspberries are always expensive. Our pot roast was a little more. We had the sardines and the currants too. All of those were a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones. Still not outrageous. We're looking at around $90 for 6 people for this menu. If you like what you saw today, join us next week where we're making fried chicken and we're going to try out some peach ice cream. See you then.